Hey peeps, I'm NeoZeoHenshin's and welcome to my top 10 list of worst games. Oh, the day has come to do this sort of list and man oh man, I am dreading it. And you know what makes matters worse? I've got to do another worst list in 2 weeks time, damn it. But here I'm presenting my top 10 worst games. So, and before I go into presenting such thing, is to let you guys know that the games I'm going to present, what I think I could consider as the worst I've ever played. These are just my opinions only. If you like these games, fine, more power to you. You like them what you like. But me, I'm going to present my worst. So all I'm asking is, guys, is to put down your pitchforks and torches and pick up some nachos and Mountain Dew, as I'm going to be now presenting my top 10 worst games I've ever played. Number 10, Final Fantasy X-2. Oh boy, starting off not good on this list. But however, it's on the bottom of the 10 list, so hear me out. The problem is that I do like Final Fantasy X and to a certain point, but especially at how it ended. But that's the sole reason I've got this game. Oh, that's one thing I've got to mention is that this whole list, I'm going to mention about spoilers, so prepare for it. So before I said what's going to be happened, because I know the game's like what, more than 10 years old now. So yeah, Final Fantasy X-2. The reason I put this on the list is that the vast difference from 10 to X-2 is different. X-2, it's more like a bloody Powerpuff all-girls sort of thing. That's a bit ironic actually, especially we've got Final Fantasy 15. That's bloody all boys. And that's what the problem about X-2 is that it's Powerpuff Girls, it's girly sort of thing, but especially if you talk to a bloody testosterone man, that sort of thing. But no, it's and it's a bit awkward, especially especially like Yuna's character development from the 10 is she's like a very sweet, gentle girl, and then suddenly in X-2 she brings 2 guns and that sort of thing, and it's just like out of character for her. And another reason as well is that the story is just a bit and my god, some of the pre CGI style FMV style things, it's like, especially Yuna's face. So but no, the only some reason I put this low on my list is that this, because I liked Final Fantasy X's universe, especially the Blitzball, that sort of thing. And the reason is that I just, okay, spoiler in 3, 2, 1. Okay, in the last game, Tidus says well, disappeared apparently, but no, he somewhat come back if you actually do 100% in X-2. So it's great to see him again, so that's good. As another one I kind of liked as well in the X-2 is some of the games like that sort of that coin math game. I'm not sure what the game. It's been a long time since I last played it. If you like the whole Final Fantasy thing and you like, especially like 10's series, go ahead and play it. And if you want to dive more into it. Number 9, Jak, Lost Frontier. Oh boy, that's what really sucks about this game is that Jak and Daxter is one of my favourite platform franchise games, and this one, especially, it's come out from Jack's X, that racing game sort of thing. But man, this one, it's a flying mechanic. But I thought I like planes and that sort of thing, and especially like custom your own planes and flying around like what's it? I'd say Zelda Skyward Sword, but I know some people are a bit iffy about that. But the one thing that really pissed me off about this game is at a certain point I literally was on the last boss and you had to fly and obstacles, and I think I got the crappiest plane and I keep on hitting obstacles. And the worst thing about it is that you can't go out into the garage and rechange it. No, you are literally stuck. And plus the story itself is just rather forgettable really, and it doesn't really makes a difference really. I think so far, I think that is literally the game that literally killed the Jak and Daxter games. But lucky enough, there's the collection editions if you want to get, especially you get 3 or 4 games in total. It's a bit funny that literally they cut out the 4th game. I was so surprised they didn't add Daxter's solo game onto it as well. So, but yeah, that's another reason I'll put it on number 9, because I love Jak and Daxter franchise. So good enough. Number 8, Devil May Cry 2. Oh boy, there's another franchise that I really feel guilty about. I like Devil May Cry, but man oh man, number 2. Oh, something really just despiseful about that game in particular. It's an absolute downgrade from the first game. and lucky enough the third game is a lot more better, thankfully. But man, the second game, Dante was like absolutely bland, he's boring, he's not energetic, that sort of thing. It's like, and that's one thing I just despise the most, is the anime adaptation of Devil May Cry. I cannot stand that, especially Dante. Dante I know of, especially when from 1 and 3, especially 3, he's much more energetic and that sort of thing, but he's basically like a bloody DC gritty hero sort of thing, that sort of not talking, it's like, that's like spoils the fun sort of thing, and especially the graphics in that one is just very downgraded as well. And, ugh. And you know what makes matters worse? I'm actually shocked of saying this. I find that DMC, Devil May Cry, is more better than Devil May Cry 2. That is... Oh! I just can't believe I said that, because I know that DMC, that bloody... Whatever that fucking Dante was, that Twilight Dante was just... I can't find much more colourful and excitement, even though it's not that great. That compared to that shitty, low excitement that is 2 and a big doo-doo, do 2 for 2. But, oh my goodness, it's so frustrating, but... Well, at least, thankfully, at least the third game is better. And it's a bit funny actually, because before is got that sort of elements of bizarreness, and especially I'm excited once Devil May Cry 5 comes out, and oh, please be good, please be good. Number 7, Dying Light. Oh my goodness, I was playing this game and I gave no fucks whatsoever. It's interesting mechanics, especially parkour, going around the city, and parkouring around zombies and what sort of thing. But one thing I get mostly stuck, and the one thing that really pissed me off the most, is the story I gave no shits about. The characters I gave no fucks about. I give no fucks at all with anyone in the group, and that's bad storytelling. If you need to be, I think that's what, say like Final Fantasy, at least you can actually give a damn about the characters. That's the problem. You've got to give a damn about characters in your story, unless you don't give a fuck. Yeah, that's another problem. The game is so glitchy, it does massive amounts of difficult spikes, and it caused me so much stress. And some of this literally was impossible to beat, really, in some certain tasks you gotta do. And that's really sucky thing about them. The game is interesting, like a parkour open world sort of thing, but this is like the most worst kind of open world sort of game, and it's also another game that's just make me rage, to be honest. It's like, but I can't like throw it in controller, because I don't want to pay like £40 or £50 for it, but it's one of those rage games, and it's like, no, and also another problem as well, it's that determination, you know, like the whole trying to beat Sans sort of thing, and and the game is the story is just so predictable. It's like, oh, that person's gonna die, and guess what? That person dies, and that person's afraid. Okay, if you watch Angry Joe's review of Dying Light, you need to know there's some very predictability, especially the villain. And it's like the villains can't hit you for shit with their machine guns, trained by the Death Star troops. Oh no, it's a rage game. Number 6, Silent Hill Homecoming. Now, I know I've seen like the whole Silent Hill story thing is kind of a bit dead now, but Homecoming, it's like the second nail to the coffin to that. But I know I haven't played Downpour, but Homecoming, because I know this is the first game outside of Team Silent released in Japan, and it's a bit funny. I think Linkara from Top of War mentioned that Phaelus said that the Americans, was it Double Helix, I think it was, I know some companies, like, they don't have a clue what Silent Hill is all about, and they trying to interpret it, and the story is just not so memorable. The problem is that I know I've just fallen in love with the that creepy factor from number 4, The Room, of course. You're telling me about Lisa, you know that one, yeah, sort of thing. But it's not that scary, of course. Oh yeah, Pyramid Head sort of thing. Oh yeah, it's a fan favourite. That's Pyramid Head. It's like, no, because the whole idea about Silent Hill is that person's immoral hell or redeemedness. That's what. Especially like 2. I know that 2 is not my favourite out of the 4, or 4 of it so far. But however, at least that one is much more deep, go into much more psychological sort of thing. But no, Homecoming just sucks, basically. It's just, nah. Number 5, Unomushi Dawn of Dreams. Oh, this game. Another game that caused me so much rage and stress, and another game that's also dead. It just killed it, the franchise. Because it's also trying to try something new as well, and man, it's... The problem is that it's, of course, it's not based Shinosuke. I think that's his name, Shinosuke, from the previous 2 games. Because obviously the second game is a completely different person. But man, it's like also the mechanics is different from say 3 because of course 1 and 2 work on the same mechanics as say Resident Evil. You know, that sort of stilled camera shots, that sort of thing. But this one, I think I know that 3 sort of starting to do that sort of 3 movement cameras instead of the cut-off cameras sort of thing. But in 4, it's much more open, like mission based, and it's like you go to a mission here, mission there sort of thing. But you play these characters, and of course they have their strengths and weaknesses, that sort of thing. And oh no, the mechanics is just, the controls is like absolutely awkward, and oh my goodness, I think I even to a point I just like, fuck it, I cannot play this game anymore. It's causing that stress, but it's been a while since I last played that. Number 4, Agents of Mayhem. And I thought Dying Hot Light was bad at role-playing game. And another thing that really sucks about it, it's done by the same people who did Saints Row. I like that series. I like it, well, I say 2 and 4. But this game, this game is trying to be like that sort of classic G.I. Joe sort of thing, and that's like that cheesy 80s thing. But here's another game in particular I gave no shits at all. And I only played it just to get some of the trophies sort of thing, and it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it, especially this game. And this game is just... The missions on here is absolutely repetitive. You do the same things over and over again at the same sort of time. Destroy that, you do this, and you do that, destroy it. Oh, slave for it. Oh, I'm too lazy to do this. You go that. That's the type of things I hate the most about the open world games nowadays. Is this the same thing? And lazy ass jobs. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're like the best person. Can you do it? Because we had the best people, but nah, you do it. That sort of thing. Oh, I hate that. And that's another big issue. It's the controls. So I think I remember one time. It's like being playing, say like Fortnite and whatnot. It's like you're trying to aim for controls, but you can't hit shit. And the people, your opponent's got pinpoint accuracy, and they will hit you. But no, the controls is bad enough, and some of the save points is just a joke, basically. So no, avoid it, man. Number 3, Chaos Legion. Oh, Chaos Legion. Chaos, and man, chaos reigns on this fucking game. I remember playing on the PS2. That one thing I saw the gameplay, I thought that actually looks really interesting. You got these sort of monsters you summon, and you can sort of use to fight sort of things. Like you get like was that sword monster or spirit, whatever it was, a bomb monster, that sort of thing. It's like use the advantage, but the controls and and this is like early stuff, and oh no, it's been a long time, and I've forgotten the majority of it because it blanked me out of that rage. And what else is it? Yeah, it's like it was so dull, it's so bland, the control sucks. So yeah, and that's just it really. So not worth it, man, not worth it. Number 2, Ways of Robots. Oh, this game. If you guys know about the most infamous game. Because you know how the games like Shaq Fu, that sort of ones, but no, this takes the fucking cake. This game in particular, this is on the Mega Drive, and I think it's trying to get to a point now they're trying to start doing them 3D, and honestly, this game in particular is one of the worst fighting games I ever played. The thing is that what really sucks about this game in particular is that you only play the main character only. You cannot be any of the other characters. You can't be any of the other several other robots you can do, and even some of the robots are like piss poor. It's like some of the, I think I played against my younger brother. It's like I played this crane robot. It's just like the slow jabs, and it's like, oh no, I just gave up and returned it back to the the rental shop. So if you want to track it down and have somebody rage and quits, be my guest. Go ahead. Dishonorable mentions. Now before I go to number one, and man, number one is gonna be a bitch. So let's just sort of soften it before we're gonna hit it, because I think this is gonna be the breaking point. So let's start off with Persona 5. I was looking forward to it, especially I am a fan of well, of course, Persona 4. I love that game so much, and of course I wear this shirt at the occasion. And that's what really sucks about it, actually, because from loving Persona 4, just like I did for Kiva, and then watched Deno afterwards, because of I played Persona 4, then Persona 3 afterwards, and I fell in love with the first one before the previous one because it's more inferior sort of thing, even though despite that came beforehand. So no, but the problem is that Persona 5 is that don't get me wrong, I really like the mechanics. So I kind of like the idea about you've been a thief sort of thing. About I will get back about the thief issue. That's the problem. There are some interesting ones, and the designs is definitely much more an upgrade to 4. Especially got that sort of Catherine style animation, which is really good, nice, more sleeker and sharper. But however, the biggest problem is about the main big issue about the game itself is that the story is I don't know, it's just no, I do know because I replayed it, and the story itself I'm gonna get so much flack with this. These are the most worst thieves I ever know. But the thing is, I kind of like the idea. You could sort of planning and that sort of thing, plan out and do the traps. That's really good. But of course, you had to up against the eventual boss. But that's the problem. You used to be like the most best thieves ever, but no, you keep on getting caught by the boss, and you have to fight that boss. And I was thinking thieves is like you can get away with it sort of thing. Fuck me, buddy. Lupin the Third did bad jobs, you know, in my film most of the majority of the time. The same with the Lupin Rangers. They managed to do some thieving jobs and more better compared to these bloody phantom thieves. Ugh. And the one thing that really pissed me off the most about this game in particular is 2 of these characters. I cannot stand these characters. Fuck these characters. This guy in particular, he has 2 cartoonsy evils, like, it's just my shit, calling out of Keikaku, that sort of thing, and, that smiley I put in that one particular scene, it's like, I'm gonna strangle you, and it's not as bad, I'm gonna strangle this fucker right here, Ryuji. I fucking hate him for all my, he is the most worst companion you ever had, and the thing is that this guy, he shouts, he swears, he's irresponsible, he's obnoxious. Okay, from that forth, I'm going to put a video playing of and just keep on constantly slapping at him, because I fucking hate him. He is fat and obnoxious. And especially when one scene in particular, it's like when the group is trying to apologise to, was it Morgana, the cat mascot? And there's a scene and suddenly Ryuji said something very upsetting. I literally said out loud, "Dude!" I was like, for fuck's sake, you trying to help your the cat, who's really actually good by the way. And oh no, it's just fuck you, Ryuji. Fuck you. But however, the good thing came out of it, 2+ waifus. Yes, indeed, the lovely waifus. So that's one way of it. And the other one I could think of, let's mention a dishonorable mention, is Final Fantasy 15. Another game I was looking for, and honestly, to tell the truth, that the sole reason I got myself the PS4 was to get Persona 5 and 15. But, man, Final Fantasy 15, I was really having high hopes. The early drafts of it was really exciting. It's like these sort of, like the pre-days of before it got to what it was before. And it's like, especially like 10 years in the making. And of course, now it's sort of reminding me like, buddy, excuse me, like that Duke Nukem game. It's like everyone's expecting that game, and suddenly that bloody single file work, and suddenly nothing. But that's the problem about 15. I like the mechanics. I like that sort of Kingdom Hearts style fighting. You can like teleport, and you can use your swords, and like that's what I like about your character Noxus. You can use like different swords sort of thing, like different methods of fighting. That's really good, and it really sucks because of this. I think. Because I literally got the day 1 edition, and that's not a good sign when it's day 1. Because even when after its release, it is still massive issues, which I'm going to get to very short right about now. And the problem was that the game was not 100% finished. It's like, what, 70% finished, and especially like some story plots do not make no sense. It's like I was in the level, because you're up against some of the group, especially that Dragoon chick. You encounter them in a mission, and they mention it's like, hang on, I thought you had a fight. Of course, later on in the story, that she sort of comes back now and then. She does, to help out, and especially the army's like, oh, what that guy is doing. Honestly, that villain dude is awesome. I like to dress like him. But the story itself, the problem is that the guys, I don't want to get wrong, I would like to hang out with these guys, my bros. But the problem is the lack, because I know it's trying to try something new, that sort of thing, but that's a risky thing about trying something new. There's risks to take, and this one was kind of a big risk, especially the woman and the main lead woman in the series. I was really wanted women to be like something like Stella, obviously like the pre ones before, like there's a portrait of her, and then there's the one with like the rings between her and the Noxus. And then suddenly they introduce about Luna Freya. My God, I don't like her at all. She's bad. I know she's like sort of help out with summon sort of thing, and that's it. She's just that, really. And that's the major problem as well. Is like you just hang out with your bros majority of the time, and you got like little interaction with Luna Freya, and that's what I mean about the story is not that 100% finished, and of course later in the months they introduce like updates, and there's like the each of the individuals episode ones, and that's why it sucks. Cause I would like to have a chance to actually swap to play different characters. Also, you can like do a tag commands, but that's pretty much it. So, you know, I really should actually come back to actually playing that game, because since now like everything is done, because now there's like the introduction of the Royal Edition, which have like everything you should have to do. But I think I heard recently that there was supposed to be a another episode, but I think they just already cancelled it, because now it's just like they're really trying to focus on bloody Kingdom Hearts 3 they're trying to do, and judging what I heard recently, of course, Kingdom Hearts 3 is actually done now. Well, sadly with the Final Fantasy 15 and Persona 5 was the hopeful games I was really want to get, wasn't really, well, sadly not impressed. But lucky enough, at least two other games came in store. Of course, we got God of War and Horizon Log Dawn. So at least them two games are good, and I can't wait for God of War next one. Whoa, can't wait. Actually, before I go to my next this formal mention, I think I'm going to sum up both Final Fantasy 15 and Persona 5. Disappointed! And my last this formal mention would be Eternal Sonata. This game in particular, I like the looks of it. I kind of like the what caught my attention in this game is that it has interesting mechanics, because it's like each time you sort of level up, even though the battle will level up as well. It's like in the beginning you'll start off, you can have like free time until the timer goes down until the next player's your opponents start playing, and then it's like when you level up, then suddenly your battle thing becomes a bit like less than say like 5 seconds of deciding, then quickly do your turn, and then suddenly you've got like no seconds, and you've got a matter of seconds to figure out stuff, and it's like that sort of nice mechanic, so that's good. However, the biggest problem is the story itself was not a good one. It's very pretty and very colourful sort of thing, but the story itself, it's pretty predictable, especially one scene in particular. It's like the group are trying to confront this villain to make a parlay or a negotiation, but you know he's got to be, he's the bad guy, of course he's got to be break the promise and break the deal, so yeah. And there's another problem about this game as well, is this game, there's another game, when it comes to the bosses, the difficult spikes happened, and there's no way to say, especially I remember there's like one or two bosses, I think it's one boss in particular. It's like you've had a save point all the way in one side of the forest, and when you're up against the boss, and he bloody thrash your ass in an insta-kill, and you've got to be, I know it's like the whole idea, you've got to strategize and thinking this sort of thing, but no, this is a bitch to beat the said boss. But, yep, that's all three of the dishonorable mentions. And now, it is time. And my number one game of the worst games I've ever played is Final Fantasy 13. Oh boy. Final Fantasy 13, in my own opinion, is the worst, the absolute worst RPG game I have ever played, especially from Final Fantasy. And I think from, well, obviously I've played Final Fantasy 15, I think my interest in Final Fantasy has gone very low. But 13 really, really struck a nerve at me. The thing is that, there's so much to talk about, so I came with a list, so bear with me. So there's a lot to talk about. Let's see. The game, it's overhyped. Even when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, that looks so pretty. But then suddenly I started to hear the backlash and the bad reviews. I was like, okay, what's going on? So I thought to myself, you know what, I might as well, you're obviously going to be your own judge and actually play it. And, oh boy, they were right. Especially like, the characters are the worst. And I'll get back to the characters very shortly. Especially certain characters. The characters are just bad and you don't like these characters. The story, awful. It's confusing. Well, that's another problem about the story, is that I just don't know what the geography of this place is. It's like, hang on, you're at Cocoon and you're in that what's it called? That other place, the land. I don't know. It's confusing. It's like you start off in the caverns, and it's like, hang on, you're in here, but then you're at, was it Pulse? I think it was. I know, I'm a bit confused. It's been a long time since I last played it, and thankfully I'm not gonna play that shit again. It's like two different locations. They're like factions sort of thing, and of course there's the whole summons and Fel Sea and that sort of thing. But that's confusing in a nutshell. And that's another thing. Like this game is even like the geography is confusing, but the game is confusing itself, especially the terminology sort of thing, because there's no dossier of explaining, oh, such and such is this land is Pulse is on the ground level, and the planet of Cocoon is and it's like Cocoon is like a planet, and then suddenly you're in a ship, and then it's like different locations. It's like, it's not like saying like in previous Final Fantasy games you have a map and saying like, oh, there's this is where exactly it is. But no, it's confusing. Landscape. And of course, majority of the most blatant one is the corridor and everything. There's no expedition. It's like you in about 16 hours into the game you will explore. Yeah, in the first land, and it's very difficult spike. It's like that thing on in 10. It's like of course you exploring, and it's like a massive field with there's like challenges, especially like chocobos sort of thing. But no, majority of the game is, like they said, it's corridors. It's corridors. You don't explore. You can't go to meet up with NPCs, that sort of thing, or go to the shops. And in the shops you go to, it's the that spear safe thing, which it's unlike, it's dumb. It's frustrating. It's just, oh my goodness. Even it's like that, especially the just moments in the last at the end of the game. It's like the whole power of love, and that's like, oh, that's just bullshit. The whole Disney the power of love BS sort of thing. It's like, put it out their fucking asses. That's the problem. And now let's talk about the biggest issue about this game. And you know what I said about them? Oh, like unlikable characters. These two characters are, which I will hand in my heart, I will say, these are the two worst duo characters in any video games I've ever played. I am talking about Fenil and Hope. I cannot stand these characters! My god, Fenil, she is absolutely perky as fuck. Hope is a mopey, angsty fucking little shit. It's like, oh, Snow, you killed my mother. But the fucking Snow, Hope's mother volunteered herself, and why he blames on Snow is just... I just want to fucking slap him so badly. And the fact is, like, his sole purpose of killing, just getting back to Snow is just to kill him, to satisfyness, and oh my gosh. And Fenil, like I said, it's just so perky, and it's like that. It's just that annoying cutesy style sort of thing. I know I can do cute, but that sort of perky cuteness grinds my gears so badly. Sorry, just sorry. I know I'm gonna get angry at this. So, and I was like, was it Saz? I think that's the name of the guy with the guns. He's like, after his reuniting his son, is playing a comedic sort. No, that's a big difference. Well, it's like, was it Sarah? I think that name was Lightning's sister. It's like she was literally encased with the crystal. Yeah, that makes no sense. Well, that whole crystal thing. It's like, of course, when you get imprinted with the like that stamp sort of thing. And he said it's like, if you got to do a certain task, If you don't do it, you'll tend to play like a twisted creature. But if you do this said wish, you will turn to a like crystal. But Sarah can turn to like complete crystal. But if we encounter with Saz's son, it's like in a you know, that sort of ice things that people usually encase of, like, that sort of thing. But and then after that, it's like Saz is like no choice but to shoot himself in the head. I'm like, for fuck's sake! I know Final Fantasy has its dark moments, but that's freaking dark, especially like hopes, then stab, from the snow and the bloody calf. And of course, guess what? He fucking survived on the 2 to 3 bloody falls. And oh my goodness,
it just don't add up.
This game is just honestly, if I ever gonna get a copy of Final Fantasy 13, I'm gonna fucking destroy it. I'm gonna smash it. Wreck-It Ralph style for sure. Oh, and there's no games you can play inside it. No exploration, and the lore makes no sense. It makes no sense. If you want to have much more understanding why Final Fantasy 13 sucks, look at the confidential Spoony one. I don't know how many parts of it is of his review of Final Fantasy, and see how much. Oh, especially like the main lead, Lightning. She even there's at one point at the game with you with fucking Hope goes to the same place and you see the was it carbuncle, that thing that actually harvests making food for that village, and it's like, oh, I wonder if I destroy that people are hungry. Sounds like a plan. Hero everybody. So thankfully I did not play the next 2 game sequels. Was it Final Fantasy 13 2? I heard it's somewhat better, but not as great some ways. But Lightning Returns, the third game, I heard it's good, but no one actually talks about 2 or that third one really. But although I've seen like cosplayers of Lightning Returns, and wow, there's some really good outfits, and that makes matters worse. Second matters worse actually, in fact, is that I like the designs. It's just like in Trigun, is that I like the designs, I like the weaponry, that sort of thing, brilliant. But, and that's another thing, that's the number one criminal thing about 13. I played it completely, fully, not the trophies, thankfully, but I played it fully just to see it was like any hope, actually, no, fuck hope, fuck you, any chance of actually having something to redeem myself. Like, please be something good, but no, I was cringing, I was tossing and turning and effing and cursing, fuck, and no, nothing, absolute fuck all. I hate this game. Oh, good. Got that all out of my system now, and I still got another worst list to go to. Fuck, and I think that's, I don't know what's going to be worse. Either doing this one or the other one. But thankfully, next week, I'm going to have something much more relaxing, if you may say so, and hopefully less stressful before the next big raging adulting suffering I have to go through. So, well, before I sign off, feel free to comment down below and say what is your worst games. So, yeah, thank you much guys for watching. Think G'd, and I'll see you guys next time, as, man, I need a fucking relax. Ta-ra! Ha ha!